Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had your Highness Prima smash that subscribe button, go ahead and have her smash that right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest patrons. We are up to 58. Imagine that. Lawrence, Javier, Carlos, Felipe, Janice, Ruben, Juan, John Wick, Audit 640, and Crescent. Carlos Alberto. If you haven't signed up for that Patreon, hit up that link below. You are missing out. This episode right here, man, I had to go into my bag and just pull one out, right? Just pull it out. Here we go. Here we go. As you know already, my fellow warriors, I started at Centinela State Prison. I ended at Donovan State Prison. 2 different times, 2 different worlds. Wow, wow, wow. Right? There's a reason I no longer work there. There's a reason why I walked away. As you can see, right, I was thinking about the words, right? I was grown, indoctrinated, right? What words can I use? I was raised a certain way in the department, right? It's just facts. The way, different prison, different time set, different people, just all around different, right? Well, I say the department is small. It is. People know everybody up and down from Oregon to Mexico, the borders, right? Each institution can vary. And this story right here is about prison is still prison, no matter where you're at. When I first got to Donovan, the partners there, the officers there would say, oh, there was a riot. There was a code 3 on Charlie Yard, right? Code 2, code 3. So it took a minute. It took a minute for me to see, like, their ideas of code 2s, code 3s were like a bunch of like S and Ys, like shadow boxing, punching the air, right? Just a bunch of dudes not doing anything, right? Just a whole lot of show, all show and no go, right? I'm telling you, I came where fools were just straight blasting each other, right? So like, oh, there was a code 2, and it took me a couple times to hear that and to see what was actually transpiring and be like, man, these are not code 2s, these are not code 3s, these are not riots, right? Like, and that goes for the stabbings. Oh, a dude got stabbed yesterday. I like look and I'm like, oh shit, what hospital is he at? I'm like, oh, he's not at the hospital. He's like, I'm like, what? Like, you look like the dude has like a paper cut. Like a paper cut, if that. Probably wasn't even from the weapon. The homie probably had chapped skin from the cold air, right? And then just during the shadow boxing and during the whole show, no go, the homie's like skin cracked, right? So like, it took a minute for me to be like, I'm not gonna say I preferred violence over that, because that would just be an ignorant statement, right? But, man, your boy was like tripping out, like, damn, what the fuck is this, right? Because I still, in my mind, right, I still had 12, 15 more years to go, right? This whole resigning was not in the cards, right? It was not planned, right? I had to see the BS for me to make that choice. So you guys are tracking, right? And I would tell these people too, like, man, that's not a code 2. That's not a code 3. That's not a stabbing, right? With the exception, mind you, prison is still prison, with the exception of some righteous incidents, right? And I have a couple videos on a couple of those, right? Like, hey, prison is still prison. You're going to get that wake-up call, right? You should never forget. You should never get rocked to sleep, so to say, right? This is why complacency kills. They taught us in the army, complacency kills, right? Meaning that you kick back, you get too comfortable. You get too comfortable. And then all hell breaks loose, and then now, oh man, forgot where we were at there for a second. Yeah, you almost got is what happened, right? Or you did get got. So this story in particular right here, now that I've buttered you guys up and painted the picture, the storyline, right? I come to work one day and they kind of downplayed this one, but not really. They're like, oh yeah, this former AB associate stabbed up two chomos, right? And I'm like, didn't think much of it, right? Because I had already told you the years of that, and I'm like, and somebody said like, oh yeah, it was bad. Like those dudes like went to the hospital, this and that. And I'm like, now it's starting to get turned up, right? So I'm like, let me see this, man. Like we have AVSS, audio video surveillance system, right? And I like look at the footage, right? Oh, wow. Oh, this was a real one. This was definitely a real one, right? What you had was, oh man, what you had on a level 3 yard S and Y, right? I said former AB, did not, being former, having former in your title does not make you any less of a you know what, right? And here it goes. You have the officers, young cops, man. I'm painting the picture for you. These young cops, they're like baristas from Starbucks, man. No disrespect. Look at the barista, put a little green uniform and a bat. Better yet, look at a barista from Starbucks, right? Put a beard on him, put a backpack on him, put one of those vests that you see the sheriffs wearing, right? With the chemical agents, the badge, put a Punisher sticker right here. Put a thin blue line flag in the back with some fucking tan boots that look like Uggs, right? Typical CO now. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? It's not bad. I mean, they're kids. They're new. Somebody has to teach them, right? Come here, kid. This kid's eating, they're eating their, whatever they're eating, man. Look like something good, right? Some sopa, some soup, I don't know. This is what you see. You see, in fact, those two chomos, right, with bad paperwork, right, sitting at a day room table. The metal table, people want to know about a 270 design. A 270 housing unit design is you walk in the middle of a building, right? Imagine a building. You walk right in the middle, the rotunda, it's a hallway. When you walk in, you can see A section, have B section to your front, and you have C section, right? So when you walk in, you see like this. You could see like that. You kind of got to go around the two little offices on the side to see where the TVs are at. This was C section. Two older dudes. One guy in a wheelchair. He pulled his wheelchair up to the little silver bench, right? You guys watch the show Lockup. There's the steel metal tables with the 4 like circular stools. One of the dudes is sitting on the stool. The other dude has his wheelchair rolled up. Man, you see the older, righteous, former AB dude walking with the youngster. They walk behind the officer's podium. This is sketchy. Just think about that. The dude had a good weapon on him, right? Good shank. He walks right behind the cops. That's kind of sketchy right there. He walks to C-section, going down the cells, going all the way to 150. You can see what the dude started about to do. He reaches into his waistband like this, pulls out a weapon, right? Has it like this. As they turn around, do a U-turn in front of 150 to walk back, that youngster cuts across the day room and walks right in front of the officers to distract them. Kind of tells them something, whatever he tells them. At that point in time, that older dude, already having the weapon in his hand, comes right behind the older guy sitting and just boom. He hit this dude. I forgot how many times he hit this dude. Because one dude got hit like 7 times. The other dude got hit like 12. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Like, hey, man. hey, I talk about fake, I talk about real. This one was real. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, this dude's going for it. The other guy's homie that they were playing pinochle and talking about little kids is sitting in a wheelchair, like looking like, damn, right? Boy, didn't he? I don't think that dude knew he was next. As soon as that white dude was done hitting that man, he comes and just hits the other guy in the eyeball, right? Not in the eyeball, right? Underneath the eye. Oh, I thought he popped his eyeball, man. Underneath the eye, boom, 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 in the face, right in the face, and then hits him in the chest. Bam! dude is going for it, right? Boom. By then, it catches the officer's attention. They're looking, they're like, whoa, my God. Oh, no, man, I have a feeling I'm not brewing coffee anymore, right? You could just smell the coffee, right, in their heads. But this is a bloody mess, right? Alarm goes off. The old man, that dude had like a C number. Different breed, right? Different breed. They don't make them like this old fella anymore, right? You look in the history books, oh yeah, that's a real one right there. Old ass dude, 65 or 75 years old, right? Your boy's memory, even though it wasn't that long ago, 60, in his 60s. Big dude. Looks at the young cops, dead in the eyes, like, yeah, what's up? You don't know me, right? You don't know what I've done, well, except for this. Throws the weapon like a OG, prone down on his stomach, puts his hand behind his back. Officers go, they do a good job of putting him in handcuffs, right, for the situation. The dude that got hit in the throat, leaking like the movie Saw, right? Leaking like a puddle. An officer comes over. He does a good job of having that individual remain calm. He does a good job of applying pressure, right, as we're taught, to prevent the dude from bleeding out. He's keeping the dude calm. He's talking to him, right? I'm looking. I'm like, all right. Like, I ended up seeing that officer afterwards. I said, hey, man, good job on that, right? Good job. I was a lieutenant. I watched this act of violence. I see this officer go into professional mode, right? Professionalism. Applies pressure. I said, good job on that, man. It's like, you did good. You were calm. He's like, yeah, I was a medic before and this and that in the military. I said, well, that explains it, right? Like, this dude, it was nothing new to him. Clearly was not his first rodeo. I said, well, good job, man. Like, if you're a supervisor, leader, these troops need to hear when they're doing good, right? Not just when they're messing up. That needs to change as well. So, yeah, man, the dude went to the hole. The old man went to the hole, right? I was working ADSEG, like on a covered relief, of the ADSEG lieutenant. And from my desk, the suspect was up in the upper tier, and I could see the cell. I asked the officers, like, hey, is that dude? They're like, yeah. So I'm going to go holler at this dude, right? Like I said, I like to holler at people, drink my coffee, right? And I go up to the thing. Old man. Man, he could have been my tata. Like hearing aids, like a cane type, like, man, the dude was aged for sure, man. Right? He looks at me like, hey, what's up? Like, what's up, LT? Like, hey, come here. Like, it turns on the light. Dude's like 6'4", right? Dude's a big guy, kind of. I'm like, hey, man, damn, dude, you bringing it back, huh? He said, oh, well, you know. I said, man, the department changed, but you didn't change, man. And he's like, you know, every time I try to get out, they keep bringing me back in. I'm like, man, you sound like the Godfather right now, right? Because I think that was an exact quote from the Godfather. But the homie wasn't quoting the movie. He was being honest, right? So I'm like, man, you're the last of a dying breed, right? And he's like, yeah, like, you know, he kind of started like, this dude's like tripping out. Like, damn, this dude's like just keeping it real with me, right? I wasn't fishing for information or anything. I was just trying to get behind the mindset of like, man, the whole department changed, and here you are just keeping it 1970. Like you ain't skip a beat. You ain't skip a beat, my boy. Right? With that, the lesson for today is the lesson for today in a good way, right? Positive. We can, the story about the two wolves, the one that does good and the one that does evil, right? Is never forget where you came from, right? Never forget what you came from. Use your whatever it is that you got, that drive, that fire inside of you for good causes, right? Like, because we've all seen what bad looks like, right? And we need more good in this world. Keep pushing forward.